All right, let's get right into it. While some Americans are still coming to terms with the idea of a second non-consecutive Trump presidency, the view from outside America is only one. What does another Trump presidency mean for the rest of the world? What's his master plan, especially at a time when the world is on fire? And I ask these questions because the decisions he takes as the 47th president of the United States, it has the potential to reshape the world as we know it. So what will he do? What is his foreign policy? While Trump has offered few foreign policy specifics, he has made some statements here and there. He has issued warnings and promised to end wars. Will he make good on his promises? That's what we will explore tonight. Here are the 6 decisions that Trump could take. Decisions that could drastically change the world. All right, let's start with Ukraine. How Trump responds to Russia-Ukraine war, it could set the tone for his agenda. It will signal how he will deal with NATO and key US allies. Trump has signaled that he plans to talk to Russian President Vladimir Putin, something that outgoing President Joe Biden refused to do. Already there are reports suggesting that Trump may call on European and British troops to enforce an 800-mile buffer zone between Russian and Ukrainian armies. This could reportedly be part of a plan to freeze the war between the two countries. This plan would entail the freezing of the current front line and Ukraine agreeing to shelve its ambition to join NATO for 20 years. In exchange, the United States would reportedly pump Ukraine full of weapons to deter Russia from restarting the war. In this plan, the United States would neither contribute troops to patrol or enforce the resulting buffer zone nor finance its mission. Remember, Trump had promised to end the war in 24 hours. If true, would Ukraine agree to it? Remember, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has said that any attempt to make peace by appeasing Russia would mean suicide for Europe. Could Trump persuade Zelensky to accept a deal? It's too soon to say. Details of this purported plan are not clear, but it is one of the several plans reportedly being considered by Trump. Ukrainian president has congratulated Trump on social media platform X. He's described Trump's peace through strength approach as a quote-unquote principle that can practically bring just peace in Ukraine closer. Last year, Trump said that Putin would have never invaded Ukraine in 2022 if he had been in the White House. He said he could solve the war in 24 hours. However, he's not said how he would do so. After Ukraine, the other war zone should be on priority for Trump. Trump will be confronting a volatile West Asia. Israel is fighting wars in Gaza and Lebanon while facing off against its arch-enemy Iran. This even as Yemen's Houthis fire on commercial shipping in the Red Sea. Trump has expressed support for Israel's fight to destroy Hamas, but has also said that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu must finish the job quickly. Remember, now Netanyahu is a Trump ally. He is widely believed to have favored Trump's return to power. Many have asked whether Trump would give Israel a freer hand in the war. Trump is expected to continue arming Israel. He has said that Israel's existence would have been endangered if Harris had been elected. A claim quickly dismissed by the Biden administration given its staunch support for Israel. On the flip side, new reports suggest that Trump will revise the 2020 peace plan on Palestine. The Israeli-Palestinian peace plan advanced by Trump during his first term will likely be back on the table when he returns to office. What is the peace plan, you ask? Now, in 2020, Trump had proposed to give Israel most of what it has sought over decades of conflict, while offering Palestinians the possibility of a state with limited sovereignty. Trump's plan would guarantee that Israel would control a unified Jerusalem as its capital, not require it to uproot any of the settlements in the West Bank, since it would have provoked Palestinian outrage and alienated much of the world. Trump had also promised to provide $50 billion in international investment to build the new Palestinian entity and open an embassy in its new state. He said that this vision presents a win-win opportunity for both sides and a realistic two-state solution that involves the risk of Palestinian statehood to Israel's security, which resolves it. What happened to that plan? It was swiftly rejected by the Palestinian Authority, but Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu had welcomed it, not without reservations though. A lot has changed since Trump proposed this peace plan 4 years ago. Could it still come into play? That's the question. Again, too soon to say. Another decision that could impact America and the rest of the world is Trump's policy on immigration. For those wanting to migrate to America, caution is advised. Migrants could now face increased expulsions. You see, Trump's most aggressive promise has been the rounding up and deportation of millions of undocumented immigrants. Expect Trump to come into office with a series of executive orders already written to reinstate border policies. U.S. immigration policy is a controversial topic. So controversial that the United States Congress has been unable to pass meaningful reform for decades. How will Trump go about closing the U.S. borders? Will it include the U.S. military? Will it include the National Guard, or will it require local law enforcement agencies? All this is unclear at the moment. But Trump's advisor, Stephen Miller, has said on Fox News that deportations will begin the moment Trump is in office. That's on the 20th of January, 2025. And next is the topic of tariffs. Trump has said he plans to install a blanket tariff of about 10 to 20% on all imports. For Trump, a sweeping tariff policy will kill two birds with one stone. But economists say that such a plan would have the effect of raising prices on everyday goods. He also wants to impose additional tariffs of about 60 to 100% on Chinese goods. In the September presidential debate, Trump described his plan as a way to extract money from America's rivals. Also, during his campaign, Trump has talked about taking a tougher stance towards China. He suggested that he would ramp up tariffs on Chinese goods as part of a broader effort that could also hit products from the European Union. Many economists say such moves would sow global financial instability, but Trump is threatened to go further than his first term, when his decisions about China plunged the world's two biggest economies into a trade war. Just like his last term, Trump has presented mixed signals on China. On one hand, he has described Chinese President Xi Jinping as brilliant for ruling with an iron fist. On the other hand, he has claimed that if he were president, China would never dare to invade Taiwan, which Beijing claims as its own. At the same time, Trump has also insisted that Taiwan should pay the United States for defense. Next up is Trump's decision on women's reproductive rights. Trump's victory in an election in which abortion rights were a key focus raises big questions about what might come next for abortion in the United States. During the final stages of his campaign, Trump said that he thought states should determine their own abortion policies, but his position on the issue has varied. In an interview in March, he showed support for a nationwide ban on abortions after 15 weeks gestation. As president, he supported a House bill that would have banned abortion nationwide after 20 weeks. During his 2016 campaign, Trump pledged to appoint Supreme Court justices who could help overturn Roe v. Wade. As president, he accomplished that goal and has at times boasted about it as well. Meanwhile, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance has suggested that he would support a national law limiting abortion. More recently, though, he has adopted Trump's stance on letting states decide. And so, because of these inconsistencies, it's not clear which direction Trump would go. There is no clear roadmap for the future of abortion in a second Trump administration. Now, lastly, Trump may resume talks with North Korea. Donald Trump has long touted his relationship with North Korea's supreme leader Kim Jong-un, but this time he will find a North Korean leader emboldened by an expanded missile arsenal and a much closer relationship with Russia. Remember, after trading threats of nuclear annihilation during the first year of Trump's first term, Kim Jong-un and Trump held 3 meetings in Singapore, in Hanoi, and at the border between North and South Korea in 2018 and then in 2019. While at the time many welcomed the reduction in tensions between US and North Korea, but those meetings eventually stalled and failed to achieve lasting changes in North Korea. Outgoing President Joe Biden has also not been able to entice or pressure Pyongyang back to talks. And so, since Trump last met with Kim, North Korea has greatly expanded its arsenal of massive intercontinental ballistic missiles, as well as hypersonic missiles and short-range weapons. Weapons that could deliver nuclear warheads against the US mainland or military bases in the region. Pyongyang has also reopened its nuclear testing site. According to American and South Korean officials, North Korea stands ready to resume nuclear tests whenever Kim gives the go-ahead. Just this year, North Korea signed a mutual defense treaty with Russia. It took the unprecedented step of dispatching thousands of troops to assist Russia in its war against Ukraine. Russia has backed North Korea by providing oil and other imports. This is a new world that Trump is facing. Will he pursue new meetings with Kim? If yes, how far can Trump make it work in America's favor? North Korea, Ukraine, China, Iran, other hotspots are all interconnected to an extent unheard of during the first Trump administration. This poses a new challenge for a new Trump administration. Ultimately, these are decisions that could change, alter and reshape the world order. That's a tall order to fill. They're all on Trump's table when he takes office, and all eyes are on what the 47th President of the United States of America will do. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.